Oye, da chiru kanga tashi dele, da tiri wotini ganzo ya dele kini wota ya noji loro shago kutuni mando ya tengo tsugi is.
So, Tashidele, greetings to all our Dharma friends. And today, as in the previous session, I will be continuing with this presentation of the glance meditations on the Lamrim, or the stages of the path.
Da ngaro su matsen dele ngine da dele liya loro shago dele tani pake loro da chatsuwa la pacha jaya dele kecha wa meba da uchire diwa res.
And so, in terms of what is important in our lives, to be able to establish imprints for the entire Lamrim, the entire stages of the path, through this practice of glance meditation, there is nothing that is more important than this.
Dan nika ki deshi kuyo na re, da tiyo ki deshi kuyo na re, da loro shago chine chine rowa yinas. Ane le dewa se kiba da peto, dan nika li yina peto jachimbo rita kasa mares.
And so, whether we speak about temporary happiness, whether we speak about ultimate happiness, there is no more effective way to work towards these than the glance meditation on the Lamrim, the stages of the path. By practicing these, even on the temporary level, we will have a healthy body and a happy mind.
나로서 강가 셰파부 세레 세대한테 세대 가사 가다 비운 노지 저거 대하며 받은 마시바지 지 템보 지네 지냐네 때는 미바야고 진걸 바로 마시는 거 요아이사 아니 니깔이나 세 시시다와 할래 배도 지모레스
So it is said that the doer is the mind, and at the moment, the character of our mind is like a monkey going and fretting back and forth and unfocused. So, what we want to do is we want to try to call our mind inward to be able to tame that mind first by relaxing it so that it can maintain an object of focus or the object of meditation.
당이 야 등야 내서 대강가 이내레 선비스톤에 다 가윙원이 되는 가로서 아니 리도 세 rum바스 전에 되기스
So, thinking that these words are really true, then with a joyful mind, we will just take a few moments to establish the body and mind in a state of calm.
리존은 자존 리존 사트 강가 같이 보이사 대 같이 보시트레스
If the channels are upright and malleable, then the winds, the prana, can move freely. So, in upright position, we can allow the winds or the energy to move.
다 드리고 말아서 로를 샤고티 텔레 지는 로를 샤고요 저기 성제스
And bring forth just a wish to be able to engage in our topic, to be able to meditate well using this glance meditation on the Lamrim, stages of the path.
대한테는 가족들 지다가로 되는 로지다로 이르마 생각해서 말레스
And so, in terms of where we are in the outline, we are in the part of the outline which is the actual stages of training the mind.
되는 로지다로 이르마 알아서 로주도 내세텔라 내세 같이 뭐 이하 다 이데라 이모로 이실 거와도 이모치달 레베츠
So, in terms of the actual stages of training the mind in the Lamrim or the stages of the path, then within that there are two more outlines. The first is which the exhortation to take the essence of the precious human rebirth with the freedoms and richnesses, and the second is the actual mode, the actual way to take that essence.
나로 스물리테 툴라도야 데는 이보야 버치 레고도 소빌로야 버치 용화샤발라 오늘 네서 데모고
So, to think I must take the essence of this human life, I do not want to waste it. To really bring this forth in the mind effectively, there are 3 points that we consider.
조조텔 동보 단중 이주와 아니 이바텔 대체와 아니 스바텔 이야가와 대서데 데모야 버치 샤가
So, we will do this glance meditation thinking of those 3 points. First, recognizing the freedoms and richnesses of a precious human life. Secondly, understanding their great meaning. And third, comprehending their rarity, that they are hard to find.
There's kaze tembushuna, and in Mansu Milite, Yijinova, Jatron Batali Lava Yabati, and in Moshi.
On the basis of contemplating these 3 points, we are able to bring forth this recognition that this precious human rebirth that we have right now is more valuable even than if we were to possess 100 or even thousands of wish-fulfilling jewels.
That's a tendency, Hako, and Kadina, Povatu, Kadina, Kibok, watched it.
If we're able to maintain mindfulness of these points, we'll be able to maintain a courageous attitude in our practice as well as a happy mind.
Tatinune Tombo Tanjo Nizua, Sat Nisok, Tanjo, Tavat, Jomba.
So in terms of the first point about recognizing the freedoms and richnesses, we should first understand what the freedoms and richnesses are.
Tawa, Sematani, Tiseoba, and a Shetoba, Comba,
So when we speak about freedom here, we are speaking about freedom in the sense of leisure, the leisure of having the time and facility to pursue what one wishes.
Dona Marusu, Deba, Noji, Deshi, Kandisi, Puedeaga, Kokayoba, Shetoba,
So what this means is a state of leisure to recognize what it is that makes us happy, and then the time and the facilities to be able to pursue that.
Ona Jasekare, Salabayana, Mokomba Jedutai, Military to us.
Why do we possess this leisure or this freedom? Because we are free of the 8 states lacking leisure.
Mokomba Jetel Dediona, Anne, Mokomba is a Tisemeva, is a Shamatobi. Yes.
So a lack of leisure means not having the facility or the time to practice. If we don't have that, then we cannot accomplish.
Mokomba Je Sanak, May Mokom, Mamaibe Mokomba she, May Mokomba she, there's a jet to us.
And so there are 8 points that relate to this lack of leisure, the 4 points of the lack of leisure of non-human beings, and the 4 points of the lack of leisure of human beings.
Nesson so, Lazimbo, Shiteleona, Anne, Mamaibe Mokomba, Shilioba, securities.
And so with the 4 of non-humans, it is those beings of the 3 lower or unfortunate realms, in addition to the devas or the long-lived gods.
Oh, Maroso, Tenius, the Shil Mebating, Tenitari, Coca Chimbochi, Haleagnes.
So thinking that I am not in any of those 4 states lacking leisure, I have a precious opportunity for cultivation.
May Mokomba she sana, may na you the same map, she matoba, and in Yagness, she is.
So when we talk about the 4 lacking leisure of human beings, this means that those human beings are in a state where they don't have the time or the facility or capacity for practice.
Susere Zalabayina, and Gawadu, and she wins Chen, Kosamesa, Yatakova, me, Yatakova.
So the first is those human beings that are born in a remote region, a region where the Dharma is not available or able to practice.
Nigeria, they are Malachi, they are telling, and Kokayashu Kangachine, Yamanis.
So we really feel compassion for those beings because they have this human rebirth, but they don't have access to the things, to the teachings that can help them.
Jaika Meba, Asinayon, Sulitu Dendega, and Koropekala, and a chili necessity, and a Kosachin, and as a net, Jaika Meba.
So the next one is a time where no conqueror has come. So a time where no conqueror has come means a period where the Buddha, an enlightened being, has not come and the teachings are unavailable.
Ane lutache sta Malaysia yana sunji chita ane nyatsil yoba yana soso ya eta ta duas ane lutache asro lutate modu shu chambo yoke yana yo koka chene me kadres.
And so the next one is strong wrong views. So those strong, very kind of wrong types of views that even if the Buddha Dharma abides in a place where the person is, because of those strong wrong views, there's tremendous obstacle.
Le jindri sayat, ani deva mare sayat awat, tumbani sayat, tava sayat, chunjuji sayat, deva mare sayat awat, tine ina, tine luta chira chola.
So when we speak of a strong wrong views, or speaking of views such as saying that cause and effect does not exist, such as saying that there is no liberation, there is no bodhicitta, there is no enlightenment, there's no emptiness, and so forth.
Ani lemba tu kupa, me ina yo, tine korosu marusu, nye tu za chenpo hali ya, tine chire, tine ina yo korosu, ani te koro tine, ne saken, jogo chite ya iza, korosu ngini kanga shenpa tu wata chire.
So the next one is those of limited sense faculties, for example, those who don't have proper sense organs and so forth. And so, of course, these are sentient beings who are close to us and we cherish them, but because of those limited sense faculties, then they are very limited in what they can do. They are limited in terms of how they can cultivate.
Nga rosu te jie tela mea bata tari, to yo ba chido ha lega nesi shiri du so ba chana yu su so koka chenpo yo ba, ane tati koka tila yo ga chi mea bata nesi yo bu xie yo.
So, thinking I am free from these 8 states lacking leisure, how wonderful it is to be free of those 8 states lacking leisure. I have this wonderful, precious opportunity because of that.
Jomba jo se ta rung jo nga to yen jo nga se yo res.
And so, next we come to the 10 richnesses, sometimes translated as the 10 endowments. And the 10 richnesses are divided into two, the 5 pertaining to oneself and the 5 pertaining to others.
Rung jo nga se re so so ngin pa tsung ge ya, ane jien ta wo nga yo res.
And so the 5 pertaining to self mean the 5 that pertain to us as a practitioner, the 5 conditions we have that allow us to practice.
So so chen de la ta ma le xie yo ba.
So the first of these is being born as a human being.
Qi zi ge ye yi se xie ba.
And the second is that one is born in a central land or country.
Ane tsong me nga la so ba, tante xie me ba.
One is free of having accumulated one of the 5 deeds of immediate retribution, sometimes called the 5 heinous actions.
Wo tsong me nga ta tante xie ca ki tante me yin yo tiga di pa le to chi ji sa, tante nyo la chen mo xie res.
And so, if you've committed one of those 5 actions of immediate retribution, it's an obstacle because of the tremendously heavy negative karma. It's an obstacle in terms of practice.
Ane umbo mo yo, umbo tsung wa.
And the next one is that one has complete sense faculties.
Ane song ji ge chi la tante dewa to, ane ki ba yo ba.
The next one is that one has a faith, one has respect for the teachings of the Buddha,
Ya tene so la dewa.
for the 3 baskets or the Tripitaka. One has faith in those.
So sing ne te nga te o pu ta ta chi ya yi sa, rung jo nga tsung de wa res.
So, because all of us possess these, then we are people who possess these 5 endowments pertaining to oneself.
다 예니 shini se tsung ge ya sa na, yeni tsung ge ya, yin jo nga sa de yo. Ane ka re za la ba yi na.
And so, then, if one were to ask, well, what are the 5 endowments or richnesses pertaining to others?
The
The Buddha has come, is the first. However, even if the Buddha came to this world, if he or she did not speak the Dharma, their coming would not be of much benefit. So the second of these 5 is that the enlightened being spoke the Dharma. And the next one, even if a Buddha came and spoke the Dharma, if it was no longer around, beings would not be able to benefit from it. So the third one is the Dharma abides.
다 대서대 여바이나 소식민이 될파 로텔 판로가 매나 오페트 소설 계속 거 매아이자 디 땜발은 유도요.
And the next one is that even if all of these are in a place, if one is not able to get assistance to follow the path, then it cannot be of benefit.
소설하던 줄.
One is able to enter the path of the teachings.
아니 지지 특제 좀봐 생사야도 투야라서 봤던 줄은 좀 해봐.
And then the next one is that there are those who support the practitioners with conditions. So one doesn't have difficulty of having enough to eat or drink and so forth. All the conditions to practice are there.
너는 소소 대신 대봐 너지 접이 했더니 아니 지제 강가 총아 같이 강가도 차이 거간들이 지를 다 소소다가 세대 대바이는 할래야 중심부터 생각지 말.
So if one having all of these facilities, these conditions to be able to practice, and also being free of discordant conditions or obstacles to practice, if one does not then engage in cultivation, that is a great shame. It is a wasted opportunity.
어다더니 사람 바시다 지다가 있는 할래야 그냥 승인에 쟤는 뚜와 대하며 받아고 싶었더니 그거 같이 보지 마.
And if we think about this carefully, then we see what an amazing situation we have. And it's almost as if it like won't be an opportunity to not practice because we realize how amazing the opportunity we have right now is.
가디나 가보도 땜바 뽑아도 땜바 아서니 대초야 그냥 뭐 뭐지 왔어.
And if we cultivate these points also, we can bring forth a courageous attitude and also a real happiness in our situation.
어다 미네레 손비토네더니 가비 원에다 로야가 생기게 될까가 저기에서 맞추지.
So having thought about these points, then with a joyful mind, we bring forth the determination on this basis. I must develop my positive mental qualities.
가되지.
Thanks very much.
got 되잖아. 언니 살. 어다 다들 단정이지와 아서 디디치 로아레스.
So then Geshe said that we have gone through the points, especially related to the freedoms and endowments, and also recognizing those freedoms and endowments or richnesses.
다 드는 줄 알고는 또 리라고 지래. 되게 세를 보게 토하셔야지 랬더니 원리라고 요바로 왔어. 뒤에서 소속이 내서 야보 시바지 지세르지 하고서나 아니 가디이나 기워지도 가디이나 뽑아도 되면 저기 말했어.
So of course it's easy to go through these, but to develop a real feeling for them, that is something that is not so easy. But once we are able to develop that feeling, first developing knowledge and then develop that feeling, we will be able to bring forth that great determination and happiness.
송지열에 자와 셴바레 다 코러스 지스 드라마를 코러스 강기 근데 그때 자치 못지라 때는 계속 치모라 자기 생각으로서 기바르 와서 아니 뭐가 시주야 했어.
So whether we talk about the Buddha, whether we talk about Tara, any of these enlightened beings, all that they attained on having a basis of this human situation like we possess right now. So that should bring forth our courageous attitude.
야, 도대체 드니게 야기 붙이네 대. 야, 대요 그거 자로 지스샤고.
So thank you very much. Please stay happily and then when possible, meditate in this glance meditation way.
야, 도대체 어디 저러?
Yeah, thank you very much. We'll end here.